the Air Wing of the Armed Forces of Malta. This afternoon, the Air Wing is going to be demonstrating all three of their current types in service, starting with the Augusta Westland 139. The 139 is a medium-sized utility helicopter. It's employed by the armed forces primarily as a rescue asset. The helicopter is capable of flying in all weathers and actually doing rescues in all weathers.
Larry, can you explain the Augusta and the Westland element of the name of the helicopter?
So basically the design of the helicopter was a partnership between Augusta Westland and other aircraft manufacturers in Europe. The aircraft are currently being final assembled in Italy by Leonardo. So you will hear the 139 moniker with different designators ahead of it.
And how many crew members have you got on board?
So this afternoon, the aircraft is being operated by Major James Vella, Captain Iona Muscat, Sergeant Charlon Bonello Minuti, and Bombardier Emin Camilleri. Thanks, Theo. On normal search operations, it is operated at least by a minimum of 3 crew members with 2 rescuers on board. For the purpose of this demonstration, it's not going to do a rescue demonstration today, but we do have an Italian Air Force version of the helicopter that will demonstrate the rescue capability of the helicopter. The co-pilot for today's flight, Captain Iona Muscat, is the second female pilot for the Armed Forces of Malta. Ever since the Armed Forces got its own aviation element, one of the first pilots was actually a woman, and she was flying fixed-wing aircraft with the AFM.
So there's absolutely no difference, male, female, anyone could apply to be a pilot, right?
A pilot is a pilot.
Yes.
Fixed-wing pilots are generally better. No, I was just joking. Just joking.
Okay, and what's the sort of duration of this helicopter and speed?
Sorry?
Duration. How long can a helicopter stay airborne?
The range of the helicopter will depend on how many people are in it, the amount of fuel you can put on board the aircraft, and that's one of the reasons why generally in the search and rescue mission, searches are carried out by airplanes, which can fly faster, they can fly further, and they can stay in the air much longer. And will maintain the helicopter just for doing the rescue itself because of the hover capability that the aircraft has. If you look off to your left now, you'll see one of the fixed-wing assets of the Armed Forces of Malta, the BN-2T Islander. It's a twin-engine, small range or small or short-range patrol aircraft. Speed-wise, it can keep up with the helicopter, but it has something that the Hilo can't do, and that's loiter capability. It can carry a bit more fuel, it can cover a bit more distance, and that's why in the search and rescue mission, the fixed-wing asset is used in the search part of that mission.
Right, and it gave us a nice wing waggle then on arrival, and in aviation terms, that's a hello, a greeting, or a goodbye and thank you.
This afternoon, the Islander is being flown by Warrant Officer 1, Matthew Ferrugia, call sign Lofty. His co-pilot is Warrant Officer First Class Keith Falson, call sign Flash. And their technician on board the aircraft today is Staff Sergeant Joseph Malia.
Larry, if you could tell us a little bit about the Islander. It's been in service with the Armed Forces of Malta for quite a number of years, decades even.
Yeah, the Islander joined the Armed Forces of Malta in 1996. At the time, the aircraft had piston engines. It could fly further, but it couldn't fly as fast. Since that time, the aircraft has been upgraded numerous times. Now it's featuring Rolls-Royce turboprop engines. The avionics have been upgraded, allowing the crew, basically it eases the workload off of the crew, gives better situational awareness to what's going on, and it also allows the aircraft to function sort of as a radio station. While the helicopter is flying low, it won't have the same kind of communications capability, so the Islander can hang around and act as a radio antenna.
So forwarding any information they need to the parties they need to.
That's exactly right.
And what sort of equipment is on board to help them with the search?
So the aircraft has a air-to-surface radar that allows it to search for surface vehicles, surface vessels, things in the water. But one of the greatest capabilities of the Islander is its ability to fly slowly. The maneuverability and the power of the aircraft allow the aircraft to get down low, get a visual sighting of whatever the target may be that's the focus of the search, and then from there they can start coordinating the rescue.
It can't fly as slowly as a helicopter.
It can't hover. That's the only thing that it can't do.
So your Islander might spot something and it would potentially mark it using a flare, which we'll see.
Yeah. So whenever the fixed-wing aircraft finds the subject of the search, one of the tricky parts becomes bringing in the helicopter or a surface vessel and identifying the location of where that survivor is. On land, it's easier. You can pinpoint a landmark. You don't have this at sea. So you have to create your own landmark. Right now, the aircraft is going to position away from the flight line, and it'll come back in, and it will deploy rescue flares.
And obviously the sea is an ever-moving entity, unlike the land, which stays still. So if a flare is dropped on the sea, it's going to move with the current, with the object, potentially, that you're trying to mark. And we'll see the flares very shortly being dropped, and you'll notice they're a very bright colour against the sea, so easy to spot. And of course, the secondary purpose of a flare is to give the wind direction and speed. So direction is obvious, but the flatter also the smoke is, the higher the wind speed. And that's always very important for pilots to know.
If you look to your left now, you'll see the Islanders slow down. On the other side of the fuselage is a door that can be opened in flight, and the technician on board will start deploying flares into the water.
There they go.
4 flares out.
The Islander now is going to depart the display area, and if you look to your left, you'll see our newest fixed-wing asset coming in low over the sea.
As we look to the left-hand side of St. Paul's Bay, the King Air, the Beechcraft King Air, is coming in. Larry, perhaps at some point you can tell us about the principal roles of the air wing of the Armed Forces of Malta.
The Armed Forces of Malta's air wing is the only government asset capable of doing search and rescue at the moment. So anything apart from the unit being military, it assists greatly in the search and rescue role. You could actually call it more of a Coast Guard role than a military aviation role.
Indeed. There's a lot of saving of lives going on, and you're also watching out for anti-smuggling, oil pollution.
The Armed Forces of Malta B-200, a beautiful machine, and basically it is sort of the Swiss Army knife. Originally, the aircraft was designed as a short-range executive transport, but it is just so efficient at flying at the low to medium altitudes. Lots of air forces, lots of companies have actually utilized it as a search and rescue platform. Within the Armed Forces of Malta, it is literally the Swiss Army tool when it comes for aviation tasks. The aircraft can perform the search function of search and rescue. It can do fisheries patrols. The aircraft has been highly, highly modified in order to be able to do these kinds of tasks. As he comes by now from the right, he'll show you the belly of the aircraft, and you'll be able to notice a black dome at the bottom of that. That dome is a 360-degree radar designed to investigate surface contacts. Also, right behind that dome, a camera can be extended, and that has a 360-degree field of view that lets the system operators inside the aircraft get a close-up look without the aircraft having to deviate from its course in order to investigate.
Right, and this aircraft is faster cruising speed than the Islander, right?
The advantage that the King Air has over the Islander is speed and range. The aircraft's capable of cruising at about 220 to 240 knots. Normally patrols are flown a bit slower than that at about 180 knots just to increase the range of the aircraft. Also, the aircraft has the capability to loiter or to go to extended search areas. The aircraft is capable of climbing and operating up to flight level 270, so that's about 27,000 feet, saving a lot of fuel and extending the range of the aircraft. It can then descend and conduct a search very far from the coast.
Beautiful, and such a successful aircraft that it outsold all of its turboprop competitors combined.
And Larry, of course, apart from all the duties that you mentioned about saving lives, fisheries patrol, anti-smuggling, watching out for pollution, of course the Air Wing of the Armed Forces of Malta also has the responsibility of being the southernmost outpost of the European Union.
The Armed Forces of Malta is responsible for roughly 1/10 of the Mediterranean when it comes to search and rescue, maritime patrol, and we do quite a lot of work with other entities such as the Italian Coast Guard, the French Aeronaval. So it is all a joint effort, and the King Air has the performance and the capability to allow us to perform with the other nations.
Oh, I can smell the flares now. The orange smoke blowing inland. And as Larry was explaining, once the person that needs to be rescued has been found and the Islander has placed the flare in the sea, the helicopter would go in and do the actual rescue. The spotting would be either done by the Islander or the King Air. 3 King Airs in operation with the Air Wing of the Armed Forces of Malta, 1 Islander, 3 Augusta Westland 139 helicopters, and 1 drone. In the past, of course, other types of aircraft have been flown by the Air Wing of the Armed Forces of Malta. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? Previous aircraft that you flew?
So during my time with the AFM Air Wing, I had the pleasure of flying every fixed-wing asset that the unit has operated. Originally, we started on the L-19 Bird Dog, which is a short-range, very slow spotter aircraft, but it was ideal for doing coastal work because of its ability to fly slowly and very close to the sea. You could actually fly it so low you can investigate the caves around the island with a fixed-wing asset.
Okay, so this is the last pass by now. So get your cameras ready. You're going to get some beautiful photos against the blue sky here. Wonderful. Please show your appreciation for the Armed Forces Malta Air Wing.
And thank you very much, Loretto Spiteri, formerly of the Armed Forces of Malta Air Wing. Thank you for the information. That was interesting, Kath.
It's always great to have someone who has been there and done it to be able to chat to about the inside info. Brilliant. Thank you, Larry.
The very first military aircraft registered in Malta by the Armed Forces of Malta was way back in 1973. It was a Bell 47G two-seat helicopter. We remember them very fondly. We had 4 over here. One of them is now in the Malta Aviation Museum. We also had a Jet Ranger helicopter, Bulldog fixed-wing aircraft, Alouette 3s, which have only recently been retired, and a number of other aircraft through the years.
Right then, are we ready for some noise? We have got the German Typhoon inbound.
Before the flypast by the Typhoon, I'd just like to give a quick mention to the crew of the King Air, who I think we didn't mention earlier on. We mentioned the Highlander and the helicopter crews. The King Air was piloted by Captain P1 Darren De Bono. P2 was Warrant Officer 1 Matthew Shikluna, and Bombardier Ayrton Bonici was also on board as part of the crew.
Get ready for the German Air Force's Eurofighter belonging to the Tactical Air Force Squadron 74 stationed in Neuburg, flown by pilot Noble of the Fighter Wing 74.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for some noise. Look right, out to sea. Welcome to the Luftwaffe. Oh, I love the sight of an afterburner in the afternoon.
Reheat in the UK. Yeah, that's using the auxiliary burner in which extra fuel is burnt in the exhaust of the jet engine to increase that thrust.
please. Note the amazing maneuverability of this aircraft. Many European nations fly the Typhoon, as in fact it's pretty much considered the first line of defense for Europe. The Eurofighter Typhoon, ladies and gentlemen, this example from the German Air Force. This is where we applaud, I think.
Not only can you just hear those engines, you can actually feel them, can't you, Colin? But it's not surprising when the two engines are giving you 18 tons of thrust.
Absolutely, Kath. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. As we can see from the reheat, the twin exhausts. Bit of a victory roll there. It's a twin-engined aircraft, the Typhoon. And you notice the design is also a bit different from other aircraft. This is what is known as a canard design, with what the tailplane, that's usually at the back, is at the front. The small little wings that aid in better maneuverability. The big main wing is known as a delta wing. It's in the form of a triangle.
This display today going between 200 feet and 5,500. Fabulous display. And the Typhoon has two roles. First role being air superiority, meaning it intercepts other aircraft and keeps airspace clear and clean. And the second role is air to ground, because it can carry a load of 4,500 kilograms high precision guided GPS bombs. Just showing this there that it's clean, obviously.
You have to be in the peak of physical fitness to be a fighter pilot and fly a machine like that. In fact, I'm thinking of applying tomorrow.
Well, you do. If they're pulling up to 9G, which is obviously 9 times the force of gravity, and they have their G-pads to assist them, but yes, they certainly have to be fit and able to take all the pressure that that provides.
Look at that. Faster than speed of sound. 141 of this type of aircraft are in service with the Luftwaffe. Ladies and gentlemen, the Eurofighter Typhoon, one of two in the air display of the Malta International Airshow 2025. We'll have another one later on. But there's more to come.
There is, as you said, the maximum speed is Mach 2.3. Corresponds to 2,370 kilometers per hour.
That's twice the speed of sound, I believe.
And now he's going to do his last pass, so your last chance for your photos on this airframe. Just as I was saying about the wing waggle before, that's a goodbye from Call Sign Metal. Fabulous display, thank you.
Well done, beautiful. One of several representatives of the Luftwaffe here at the Malta International Airshow. That was spectacular. I really enjoyed that, Kath.
Me too, absolutely brilliant. And next we are gonna have Solo Turk. A lot of people have been looking forward to this, and don't forget you can get your merchandise from Solo Turk up by the aquarium.
Indeed, so from the Eurofighter, we're now going to an American machine, the F-16, made by General Dynamics, flown by a pilot from the Turkish Air Force, coming up very soon.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive, and the world turning inside out. Yeah. I'm floating around in ecstasy, so don't stop me now. Stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. You shouldn't start leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws supersonic woman of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Supersonic man out of you. Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. Good time. Don't stop me now. Good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
Another great tune there. So we've spoken a little bit, Colin, but what about you? Why are you here? What do you love about aviation?
Oh well, my connection with aviation goes back to I think it was the Korean War when I first flew I first flew solo in a Cessna, and then I won a Purple Heart in the Vietnam War. I have the Medaglia al Adital Republica. I've been given the DFC with bar.
People are looking at you a bit funny now.
They don't believe me. No, I haven't been around. I'm afraid I'm not a pilot, and I'm just a big aviation enthusiast. Ever since I was a child, building airfix models, well, beating them too, and then burning them. But building airfix models as a child. Malta is the kind of place where you're either in love with the sea or in love with the air, because the history of our country has been associated with navies and trade, the Grand Harbour, the sea, sailing. And then, since the beginning of aviation, since the very first flight that occurred in Malta, over Malta, way back in 1915, if I'm not mistaken, it was a seaplane. Since then, Malta has also become a very important aviation hub. So there's planes coming and going constantly from our airport. There was a time when we had 6 airfields in Malta, one on Gozo. Now there's a heliport in Gozo, not an airfield anymore. But anyway, so I've been a fan of aviation ever since I was a child. I'm 50 years old now, and being asked to be part of the air show and be a commentator has been a dream come true.
So this is a great event in your social diary every 2 years. Hopefully this will go ahead every 2 years now, this air show.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps people are familiar with my voice. I'm a radio presenter on Campus 103.7, although I salute Calypso Radio, who are sponsoring this event. I'm a radio presenter, and I've done a bit of acting. Actually, I'm known as an MAW, a model, actor, whatever.
Great, Colin, thank you. Right, so we're on the countdown to Solo Turk. We've got another 10 or 15 minutes, so we'll just give you some more music for now whilst you get ready.
about a shot glass man. Crazy about a shot glass man.